Hello, and thank you for joining me again. I'm back in my Custom Keeper journal and also back on this sheet that I did some jelly printing on, and the other half of this sheet was back here under this one. So today I'm going to be working on this spread because then I'll only have this spread and the back cover of this first part of my journal. So this is what I had to work with, and I decided that I would spend time studying this and seeing if I saw any possibilities within this lovely hodgepodge of colors. And then I decided to, made a copy of this, which of course the color is not quite as bright as it ought to be because I didn't monkey about with my printer. But I used this to pick out some areas that made some sense to me. For some reason, my mind told me that I saw a leaf here and here. And then I added one over to the side. And then I saw this area and this area and this very clearly, and decided to add one in here. And this is how I got to this pattern. First I used pencil, then I used my Faber-Castell, and on top of that I used my I used my Faber-Castell, this pen for the edge, but I used the Faber-Castell brush pen to just make this clear in my mind as to what I thought I was seeing, and trying to make a pleasant image out of it. So, and I said to myself, now what? Okay, let's see how we can move this, how we can transfer this to here. And I decided to go back to the old methods that we used to use in school. For this I used my Stabilo Aquarelle pencil 8008, which is rather soft. And what I did was I very, very carefully used the lead in this soft pencil on this brush marker lines to see if in turn I could use it over here and I gave it a try on this piece of paper, and yes, it worked. So hopefully part of this design will work on this side. And then, as I remember from back in grade school, I went on the back of this. Because of those heavy lines, I was able to see them quite easily, and I put a lot of lead behind them. And now I'm going to work on transferring them. And let's see, this line did work because it's right there, and I darkened it up more than I would have, but I wanted you to see. So let's try this one next. Fingers crossed. Do I see anything this time? Yes, a little bit, but I need to be a lot more forceful. And let's get this one on. And now I'm noticing that here is the leaf. Yes, it is. And here's this one. And so we have that down. Now now I'm going to do these 5, and I will be back. You certainly don't need to watch me do something like that, but I will be back. Well, that worked out a treat, although it is much darker than I probably would use, but I wanted to show very nicely on this on the video, so that part I can set aside now. And over here I need to put on some background, and then I'm going to use part of the same design over here and play to my heart's content. But first I need some background, and I see some, I'm not going to use the white that I see here, or that is definitely on, the white of the paper. I'm going to use my Ceramcoat Oyster White and Charcoal, and I'm going to mix a very, very light and very, very watered down gray. And I'm going to use this Low Cornell 3/4 inch oldie but goodie brush to get that down on my paper. Very, very little gray. And quite a lot of Oyster White. And since I'm watering down, I'm going to put water in the brush. More water. Yes, I think that's the correct shade. And now let's just stroke this gray down. I'm going to tuck this in right here. Just putting this light coat down in a very free and painterly fashion here. Goodness, I think I just had enough to do the job. And maybe I want it to meet over here. Yes, I do. Alrighty, now give this handy dandy dollar store plastic cutting board a wipe. And I want to dry this out thoroughly because this is certainly not watercolor paper. Make sure. Yep, yes. I'll be right back. So on this one, I'm going to be using the pencil that is already there, hopefully. And let's see what happens. Oh yes, this is going to be easier to see. Good. Sometimes old-fashioned ways just do the trick. Oldies but goodies sometimes. I'm not doing these two, but I'm going to do these three, and then we'll see what happens. There it is. Now I am putting a good deal of pressure on this pencil. I remember I believe it was in 5th grade when I did a process like this, because the teacher showed us how to do exact repeats of things, and I was absolutely tickled. I guess I've dredged it up from the prehistoric times. And this one. Right. Yes. Now, I can set that aside. And let's see about the possibility of adding our stems. I was thinking I might add more flowers here, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we don't need an exact repeat of this side. Well, so the next step is to get back to this side and I'm going to push back this background I'm not sure that I know how I want to do that yet. Maybe those two colors again, but very light. Let's see. And a better brush. I'm thinking this one. And this one. Hopefully. Oops, that's almost the same color. And I don't think I want that. I think I want it to be a little lighter. I don't know why, but I do. And again, going to add water to the brush. And see what it will do. If it will do what I would like it to do. I want it to be there, but I'd like to see through it a little bit too. Where shall I start? Maybe down at the bottom. More water, methinks. Whoops. Okay, we can do that. So I'm going to continue getting this background down, and let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay, I'll be back. I have added 1, 2, 3, 4 more leaves to this side and gotten out the colors that I remember using when I did this jelly plate months ago. Did some matching with my Ceramcoat colors, and now it's time to see what we can make here. So, for some reason, I'm wanting to start with this one, so I'm going to just plop in some colors, and I mean that literally. Plop in some colors here and there. Use some palette color. Maybe a little darkness too. Kind of looking over here occasionally to see where we were. And oh, my lord, wrong color. I'm glad I didn't use that one. There. Better. So, and a little more of the dark down in here. And certainly some turquoise or teal, and just a little bit of red. Let's see what we get when we plunk these together. Not too much because it's drying on me, so we'll just have to revisit this one again later. See, when you don't want the acrylics to dry, that is absolutely when they do it. And a little bit of that, but lightly, Carol, lightly. Let's not get carried away. And this one, which is way down at the bottom, and I don't think I'm going to do the whole shape. I think I'm just going to do the bit that's on the gray background. Just a little bit up here. And maybe I'll be wild and woolly and add a little pink to this one. I think the problem is the brush here. Let's see where we are. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to work on the last 3 leaves, and then I'll be back. Well, I have played with these leaves, and now, as you can see, I'm putting an undercoat on these flowers, and then I believe I'm going to stop because I have to have a think. There are times, and particularly things like this, where they might be expressive flowers, but they have to be expressing something to me, so I think I've probably been at this for a while, longer than I ought to have been, because I've redone these top 3 leaves a few times, probably because they I find that when my muse is telling me to stop, I ought to listen. Yes, I do believe this is going to take some thinking about. Whether I want to or not. It's really something the way that can give it some rhyme or reason. I think I'll have some over here too. All right, now I was all over worried about this page, and now I'm less worried than I am over here. I need to, something needs to happen here. That's why I'm going to stop and walk back in and look at it quite frequently. That's the Carol technique. I turn the light off on it and I let it dry, and then I come periodically and just to turn the lights on and have a look. Not even a think, just a look. Okay. Be back when my muse has joined me on this. Well, I have decided that this background on this side might need some strength. So, I have picked this stencil I've cut out the original to protect what is underneath. Laid that down. Protected this page with some Post-its. And I've decided that I'm going to try out my Target metallic steel on this page, and I'm thinking I might try the metallic sterling by Target on the other page. I don't know yet, but if we can get a little bit of shine and a little bit of depth on this page, I'll be quite tickled. So, yes, just what the doctor ordered on that one. Luck, luck, luck. I think some more Post-its over here. Right there. Then I believe I have a little section down here. Whoops, more. And here, just a little bit. This is a serious case of fingers crossed, but I'm hoping it will look the way I see it in my imagination. Yes, it does. All right. Let's see if we do get any metallic. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes. Look. Oh, I'm tickled. They weren't kidding when they said a little bit of metallic. Steel metallic. How nice. Alrighty. I'm thinking I'm going to go over this way now. This way? I wonder. Should that be the same color? know, I think I'll just try this sterling. Give it a little bit more oomph. I'm going to want that white to show over here. So, going to do this. This. Here. And then this one has to come off. Okay, mission accomplished on there. Now, I guess I'm just going to have to be careful with those green leaves. Or not. Or nope. Or not. Now, whoops. Oh, there's no stickum on that one. Okay. Down. I'm just taking a moment to look and see where I have some gray showing through. Alrighty. And now, some sterling. Okay. Let's hope that the results work out similarly. I have to look, peek. Yes, I see some silver. Good. Very good. Anything else? Let's see. I don't believe so. Let me hold this and peel. Yes, done. And Target has quite a nice selection of metallics, quite a few of them. So steel on this side and sterling on that side. Now I have to go back to mulling this because the bit that worried me the most, worried in quotes, me the most, was the this background, and now to play with the flowers. Let the good times roll. I'll be back. Now, as you can see, I am back, and I have figured out some of the trail that I'm going to be taking with this. I used my Signo Uniball Micro to outline some of the silver flowers and the background on this page. And I used my Uniball Signo 207, which is a little heavier, to outline some of the background on that page. And then, because I need for this to show a little bit, I'm using my Pilot G2 to add some dimension to these leaves on one side only. But I thought I'd share the cleanup paper from these colors that were over here, and I'm just looking at this and thinking, my, wouldn't this possibly be very pretty, since it contains the colors from this sheet and this one. I might use this at the back right here. It is quite incredible the way paint cleanups can be so attractive. I'm just so taken with them. I have quite a nice collection in my Thurber book now, but I thought I'd share this with you. Okay, back to the job at hand. This bottom flower I'm thinking might have rather a simple starter, just to play up its shape. I'm thinking that this outside area that I had originally included, I think I'm going to darken those. Yes, I am. And a little bit on the edges just to delineate the shape a little bit more. And I'm going to be very careful not to mess that about too much. Maybe another one like that up here, and then I can decide what to do with that one. But in this case, I'm just thinking that I'm just going to want to go around this just, again, to play up the shape. And here. Here. And some of these, just to darken them a little bit. thinking that maybe I gotta do something about following this outline. Yes, okay. And this one. This one. And this one. And this one. Maybe I'm going to try picking out some of the colorways on the center one. Let's see what happens. Make it very close here. Let's see. Well, you can get the idea. I'm going to finish this flower, and I'll be back. I have taken some bits of time to work on my doodling. On this page, I actually used, which I hardly ever use, and found that I must remember to use, these brush pens by Faber-Castell, and they helped tremendously to darken the areas around these flowers. And on this one, I used my Uniball Signo white pen to embellish the 3 different stamped flowers that I added to the center of these. I hadn't used stamps in quite a while. These are some clear stamps that I had had for ages, and they seem to just do the trick in the center of these flowers. And it was great fun because the white shows up so nicely against the red, the dark pink or fuchsia, and the teal. This project has been great fun. I learned 2 things about Target paints. Number 1, they're lovely, and number 2, they shine even when you're not sure that they are going to. So, I do hope that you have enjoyed this visit with me today. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share with a friend, and I would appreciate your subscribing to my channel. I decided to leave just a little bit of that background jelly plate print around the edges. And I was quite tickled with the way the leaves worked out. I tried to get some of the major colors from the other side into each one, and I was more or less successful, sometimes less. But the stamps worked out a treat, so please consider joining me again when I get back to working in my lovely Custom Keeper journal. Bye now.